Hello, Tumultuous here. So in the TikTok, we were talking about rules and what they were, and I briefly started to explain, but 1 minute's not just not enough. All right. So the rule number one is you exist. Obviously, hopefully we can understand most of that. If you can't, then try, and if you really can't, then I'll explain. Just DM me. Two, we are all one, and one is all of us. All right. There's a way to explain that puts spirituality, religion, beliefs, all that aside. If you're a cold, hard facts kind of person, let's talk science. Our hearts pump blood through our veins. Blood is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is iron, little tiny molecules of iron. Okay, if I'm talking too fast, just Google it later. You'll catch up. So iron is made one way in this universe. It's when galaxies collide. A collision of two stars makes a bunch of things, but one of those things is iron. So everything that we encompass that makes us alive came from somewhere else. So essentially, you are not only just the iron molecules in your heart and your blood, but everything. Everything is made out of atoms. Okay? These atoms have been in this universe, on this planet, for billions of years, millions of years, whatever, however many long you want to put it. Which means that you are not you, like your body. You're borrowing this body. It's like a bumper car. All right, your bumper car that you get into that grows with you. It's like a one of those UFOs that it's a plasma one, so it grows and then it flies, but the person has to be in it, or the entity has to be in it to control it. And also, if you don't believe in extraterrestrials, then you got to catch up, sister, brother. Come on. All right. So basically, you're made up of atoms that you're borrowing from the universe to rent, and you're riding around in this little bumper car of a body that you have, and then you're done. All right, so whenever you can't see what's inside of your brain. I can't see what's here. Like when I'm facing straight, you can't, there's something behind your eyes, there's something behind your brain, and there's something behind everything that you are, which is exactly what you really are. It's the consciousness, your soul, your spirit. If you believe, like when I was a kid, people told me that when you died, that was it. And I was like, what do you mean that was it? That's it. And I couldn't fathom looking at blackness forever. Do you understand? Like I didn't believe, like not even like I didn't even think about it. I didn't believe that you stop existing. I never believed that you stop existing. I always thought that when you died, that was over, and we just had to lay there and just look up at this nothing. I was like, that's awfully boring. There's a reason I never believed it, because I've clearly done this before, and now I'm starting to remember things. Not remember, but I'm starting to know things that I've never studied. And I'm my own biggest skeptic, so I always research everything I think I know. Like I'll just walk around, I'll voice record a lot, and I'll listen to them, and I was like, how could I have possibly known that? Like I said to myself once, think of the world of opposites. Like to air, you would be the empty, and the air would be the solid. So I researched it, and sure enough, David Bohm, that's what he wrote. It's weird. Like I've never studied it. How do I know this? Well, they always say like, oh, he's channeling so and so right now in sports or in music. The singer's channeling, Aretha Franklin. It's because it's there. The energy's there, the spirit's there somewhere, and it's going through you, much like everything that you're doing. So not only are you borrowing atoms from the universe that you're constantly giving back, because there's a constant exchange of energy and matter, you're also borrowing the spirit. There's a flow of the earth, right? It's like one big telephone signal. And much like you're seeing my face right now, I'm not standing in front of you, it's through electromagnetic waves. Same things with us. We have an electromagnetic wave to us. That deer right there has an electromagnetic wave to it. And if I had the right camera, I would be able to see its aura. It's not threatened by me. Maybe it's because I'm wearing white. Maybe it's because he knows I'm going to feed him, or actually she, rather. But then if I say something in German, she'll run away, Anyway, to get back on that, so we're all one in that sense about molecules, right? Atoms, iron, blood. Okay. Next is breath. So we're all one in breath, is saying that we're all connected because none of us used to breathe, but nothing here used to breathe. Bacteria developed and started making chlorophyll, which developed plants, which in turn developed oxygen, which developed us. So every time I'm taking a deep breath in when I meditate, I picture the universe or the earth blowing out. So it kind of sounds gross because you don't want to be breathing anyone's like carbon dioxide, but obviously it's not. It's oxygen that you're breathing in. And when you're breathing out, the earth can't wait for that because it needs it to breathe. So we're all connected in that sense. Third, and probably most important, is mind. Now, mind, why we're connected is because Much like mosquitoes, although not really, because mosquitoes have regenerative, I forget the name, but it's like basically you could remember what your grandfather knew. So mosquitoes were never afraid of the sound of the vacuum, but now all of a sudden they know, they live for like a day. How could this mosquito have learned in a day that a vacuum is bad? Because they have recall, I think it is, generational recall or something like that. We have that too, to an extent, because for instance in the 1600s, if you played a piano for someone, they would just be there standing there in awe and marvel. What is that? Because it wasn't invented till the 1700s. Now, being brought up, you could look at a piano, you could appreciate it. If you have the desire or talent or both, you could play it. So the complexity of that instrument is huge. It takes a lot to coordinate 10 fingers, read music at the same time, and maybe even compose. But you could just appreciate. The fact that you can do that is because it's been contributed over and over by a lot of people to a collective whole of a mind that we're all connected to. So just like computer programmers and just like kids nowadays that were born in 2013, 2010, will have UFOs, will have cell phones, will have JavaScript embedded into their consciousness, which means that the next people won't worry, the next generation won't worry about how it is to make the wheel, or what do you make a fire out of 2 sticks, and what do you do when you're cold. But that's exactly why we're here. We're here to make sure that they do remember that. We're here to make sure that they do know how to astral project. We have to make sure that they do know that matter manipulation is possible, because every single subatomic particle is entangled. So it's not static, Look at this. And he goes, yeah. It's not static. It's not body heat. It's my biofield. And if you think about it hard enough, and it's not hard about it, you have to have the right mindset. Because once we discover something, or once something is invented, it catches on rather fast. But it seems impossible before. So the New York Times retracted the article in 1920 about saying that they'd never have a rocket in space. They had to retract the article because clearly there's been a rocket in space. But before that happens, no way will a man will ever fly. And then the 2 guys did it. Oh, look at that. Oh, it was that easy. And it really is. It catches on that quickly, and it goes and it spreads. I don't want to say virus, because virus sounds negative, but it spreads like a common knowledge, like a basic reflex. And then people that have the will and are so inclined embellish on that and go even further and further and further. But it's just like having 1 penny a day and then multiplying it. There's like, if you have 1 penny the first day, then it's 2 cents the second day, 4 cents the third day, so on and so forth. By the end of the month, you have like $1 million or something. It's exactly the same way it works with this. So when 2 people learn something, and then they tell 2 other people, the exponential rate is huge, because it increases the more people know about it. So if 2 people know about it today, 4 people know about it tomorrow, by the end of the month, it's 1 million. What's it going to be in 5 years? And how many people of those have been embellishing on it and then teaching it further? So everything you do that involves another human being, you are contributing essentially to the entire human race. Yes, not right now. Yes, not tomorrow. But you have to know that when Mozart played the piano, people are still listening to him today for a reason. Plants like his stuff. Like, how good do you have to be at something to be how good are you? Plants like my shit. That's how good. Plants. So that's what I mean. If it wasn't for people like Mozart, we'd still be in the gutter. And now there's dubstep, there's hip hop, there's jip wop, there's wop wop, and death metal, new metal, ace metal, jack of spades metal, whatever kind of music there is, there's still Mozart. And that is the only type of music that is considered classical music, because it is an exact form of classic. Never goes old, never dies, and nobody could ever replicate it. Because he took something that was just invented and he embellished on it to the point where nobody could replicate that. I don't care how many synthesizers you put in front of me, nothing will be as beautiful as him playing, even though I've never heard him live. All right, so we're all connected in the mind in that sense. So like I say, I'm on this whole thing to, I'm not doing this for fun. I'm not asking for money. I'm not doing this for internet likes. I mean, I don't hate to be, actually, I like to be cocky sometimes, but I'm a fairly good-looking guy. I speak 3 languages, and I'd like to consider myself charismatic to an extent. I'm not doing this for internet likes, really. I'm doing this because at the end of the day, when I have not my judgment, but my life review, so to speak, I could be able to look down on this and say, you know what, I tried to help as many people as I can. Did I go too far out of my way to do it? No. I'm taking 10 minutes to sit down and talk to you. But to everyone that listens, to have gained even a little bit of knowledge that they didn't know before from this already makes my entire whole existence worthwhile in this realm, in this sense of this internet, you know, thing that I'm doing. Because people are understanding, and they're being able to understand because it's explained to them in a manner of their understanding. So they say you don't fully grasp a subject. You don't really know shit about a subject unless you can explain it to a 5-year-old. If you could explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old and have them understand what that means, then you, my friend, are a quantum physicist. And I'm not saying everyone's a 5-year-old, but there are people that are more advanced than others, which is a lot of times people don't understand that. They're like, you know, oh, I know this already. I'm like, okay, great. So how many people have you told about it if you know? That don't. Read the comments. There's so many people. Oh my God, thank you. I never knew that. Oh my, I'm realizing this, that. And maybe some of them are bullshitting, but a lot of them are not. Which means that there's a lot of people that really need to know this stuff, because it's kind of sad to live life without knowing this shit. You know, and if I know it, and if you know it, then you should be helping me doing this. Because if not, you're just, what are you here for? You know, help everybody out. I'm you. You are me. Would you stab yourself in the arm? Why the hell are you going to stab me then? Come on. And the thing is that this life will end for you and for me fairly quickly too. And at the end of it, if there's nothing that happens, if we do have to look up at blackness like I thought when I was a kid, it would be terrible. Then yes, you win. But if there's not, and if we go and all of a sudden there's not blackness and there's a staircase or whatever, it's going up and there's a bunch of people in line, well, I guess it wouldn't be really a line, and there's a judgment, you're going to be fucked because you haven't done shit to help everyone out. So just try. That's all I'm asking. Just try.